Hello, people of YouTube. May the 4th be with you. Yes, it is Star Wars Day, but we are not talking about Star Wars. No, we are talking about Rick and Morty Season 4, Episode 6. Yes, it is finally back. It's been like 4 months. They split up Season 4 into 2 parts. We are getting the second part, and there better not be 2 weeks in between the 9th and 10th episode, or I'm going to be very angry because I did that last time, and I'm sitting here like, what the heck? And I was like, oh, they just want to milk it a little bit longer. A little bit longer, yes. Milk it a little bit longer? I think so. Yes. So we are on what I guess is going to be called an infinity train, and nothing in this episode is technically canon. So at least we can't tell what is and what isn't. Basically, that's kind of how they were trying to go. Basically, we start off with this Wolverine-looking dude. This other random dude with a mustache comes on the ship, and he was like, I want to kill Rick. And then we find out that the mustache dude is actually Rick in a suit, basically disguising himself. You got a tickets guy. And then Morty, on the other hand, he is actually dressed up as a female, and he goes on a train and finds out that all of them have dated Rick in the past. So you have a dated Rick train, we have a kill Rick train, we have a Merry Christmas train, which we find out later in the story. And those are the three. And then you have the engineering room. So you got like 4 different trains going on throughout this. So basically, there is like a conductor guy, you got the cool Rick and Morty fights going on, but honestly, I just was not that big a fan of the bulk of this episode. I mean, it was all kind of random. I hate to say it was a bunch of random nonsense, but it kind of was. I mean, it definitely got better near the end, but there wasn't like really a particular storyline. Basically, they were bashing several different things. They were bashing all of the fan theories, or just doing all the fan theories all at once in one episode, so that way they are not compelled to give us any of those like endings, especially from Season 3, how Season 3 was very much so a progressive storyline that I thought was very well done, got better, into a different storyline. And then you have, basically, it kind of wraps all of that up, but doesn't actually wrap it up. We get to see Evil Morty again at the end, which I thought was very cool. We get to see Bird Person or Phoenix Person. We get to see the girl, I think was it Jessica or Bernice or something? I don't even remember her name. There's so many characters in this show. It is very hard to remember her name. That was a cool sequence, though. There was some Star Wars fighting in there. There was, Phoenix Person versus Rick, Cyborg going on. Evil Morty was there. And then they decided to spit on religion a little bit in there too, saying Jesus Christ came down and saved everybody. Because basically what happens is they're trying to break the 5th wall. The train conductor who's extremely jacked. I don't know if he's supposed to be based off of somebody or not. Who really knows? But he puts Rick and Morty in this machine that's trying to break the 5th wall. And in doing so, they realize that how to get out of that is, let's do the most boring thing that makes everybody cancel out. And I was like, oh God, what is it? And I was like, oh, of course it's religion. I was like, oh, great, yep. And now you're going to get every single Christian, Catholic, everybody that believes in Jesus, very angry at you. Oh, Rick and Morty. But it did, honestly, I feel like I liked the episode better as it went on. In the beginning, I wasn't particularly caring for it, but definitely got better as it went on. Also, it bashed feminism movies very, very hard. The only way to break, like, I guess the biggest way, it looks like some sort of crazy dimensional Middle-earth seal to get to the main train, the engineering room. To break it, you had to basically imagine the best feminist film ever, which was Summer and Beth shooting rainbows out of their vaginas at female scorpions, going, yes, male-female empowerment, awesome craziness. I think that was kind of poking fun at the female Ghostbusters, the recent Birds of Prey movie, and kind of, how they're, I guess, forcing female empowerment in your face. Some of it, something like Wonder Woman, I'm going to say, done very tastefully. I loved it. You got the female empowerment going on there. excellent. But then you look at something like the female Ghostbusters, and it felt very forced. Basically, they just did a whole complete role reversal with that, with the guys and the girls. And look at the reviews for it. That's all I have to say about that. So there's a good way of doing it. There's a bad way of doing it. Do it the Wonder Woman way. Do it that way, and you will be perfectly fine, good to go. And that's that. But there was also like a train conductor who was also, or ticket guy, I should say, that was also jacked. He got cut in half, thrown out the window, and he was spinning around. And then we get thrown to the arcade where he thinks he's in a virtual reality because when you're outside of the space train, basically nothing is canon. Anything can happen, all the wacky and craziness, and he's just became cut in half, splitting around. People think he is a god, spitting blood, and then Morty, obviously being Morty, was like, all right, let's kill him, put him out of his misery. As they're on top of the train trying to go into the main train, the engineering room, they have a timer on Morty. They're like, oh no, we have to have a timer because we don't have to have a timer. It seems like we have too much time to do this. We got to put a sense of urgency on it. I thought that was hilarious too. You put a timer on something, it's always like, oh my god, if it's not complete at this time, we're going to die or whatever. So I think that's the only reason Rick did that. But overall, not a terrible episode, but as I said, it was a thinker. A lot of stuff going on. Kind of threw me off, I'm half asleep trying to watch it, like basically I'm trying to go to bed as I'm watching this show. I was like, I really like Rick and Morty. I want to stay up and watch, but at the same time, I got to get up and go to work tomorrow. So I'll do my best. So I rewatched it right before I am filming this, and the thoughts kind of stayed the same. Progressively got better. I definitely like what they did at the end with all of the evil Morty stuff, but don't take any of this as canon. We don't even know what was real and what wasn't real in this. It finds out that they were basically just trying to sell you a toy train, which I thought was kind of hilarious, by the Citadel. So the Citadel is still functioning. And they're like, oh, you find your Rick and Morty adventures going stale. Buy this crazy infinity train where you can shrink down and all the characters have all the crazy adventures you want whenever you want, blah, blah, blah. Also, we get a little bit of Jesus and the conductor at the end, the time guy, saying, oh, makes you question what's real, what isn't real, which is basically this entire episode, what's real, what isn't real, trying to figure out which is which. And to sum it up, Jesus exploded himself all over the train, to derail the train, didn't want to be in the infinity loop anymore, and broke the train. And it all comes down to the good old virus. Nobody's buying anything because of the virus, which I thought was hilarious. They're basically saying, oh, our only purpose in life, people's only purpose is to buy things to make other people rich, make the rich get richer, and we stay the same by buying things, consume. That's basically what they were saying. Nobody's buying anything because of the virus. Don't try to get it replaced, just buy another one. And I was like, oh god, they are so, that was great. That was definitely probably my favorite aspect of the entire episode. That we have the ability to make the world go round, and if the general public stops buying everything, then you are SOL, and the entire economy goes, and that's all she wrote, man. That's really all she wrote. So, in conclusion, I have no idea what they're going to do with the rest of this season, because who knows? But there's probably going to be a season 5. Now they have no rush to finish anything. I think that's why they did it, because they can just, at any point in time, any of those different random scenarios with evil Morty, with Snuffles and his dog suit fighting cats, any of that crazy army stuff, they can just be like, oh, no, that was canon, that's the end of the storyline, that's it. And we're stuck with that. So they can either, revisit that at some point in the distant future. I don't think they're going to touch on any of it in the rest of season 4. My guess is not going to happen. Maybe a little bit a story in season 5, but who really knows, to connect to season 3. Or they can just go ahead and say, oh, nope, now that particular piece was actually canon. We don't have to do anything with that anymore. So it was a good way for them to kind of get away from the storyline of season 3, because if you look at season 1 and 2, people definitely seem to generally like them more with all the kind of random craziness that was going on, and that's what they're trying to get back to doing in season 4, get away from that kind of storyline. At least that's what it seems to me that they're trying to do, which, I mean, It's a little lazy, but at the same time, it does take a lot of pressure off the writers to continue with that storyline from season 3. So maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. To each his own. Who knows? It doesn't even matter. Rick and Morty adventures forever. Oh, and also, if you are interested, I've been saying 500 subscribers for a while, and I'm gonna hold it to that as well. I have 4 packets of Szechuan sauce from McDonald's. I will give those away. I used to have 5. Unfortunately, a moth managed to somehow get into one, so I had to throw that one out. Wasn't good anymore, so now I am down to 4. If I reach 500 subscribers, I will give away all 4 of those. Just make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'll post a giveaway video too, but definitely one of the requirements is going to be a subscription to my channel. So if you want a heads up on that, do that now, and you will automatically pretty much be entered. I might just do it out of strictly my subscribers and kind of randomize it, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.